Yes, I think we can start. So everything's okay now. We can start. So, hey guys, welcome to our webinar with the title of Pursuing a Successful Career in the Writing Field. My name is Gabriela. I am a communication officer at Fatima Al-Fihri Open University, and I'll be your mediator today. So I am here with Eman Khalid, our speaker. She is a writer, journalist, storyteller, researcher, and media professional. She already wrote about a lot of topics, mostly on various social issues such as female rights, poverty issues, mental health issues, and human rights. So these writings have been published on various education and informatical platforms. And other than that, she has also been a co-author on various international literary anthologies. So Eman Khalid is an English language and literature student with a profound passion for learning. So, just to add, you guys, we will talk a little bit more about this with her. And if you have any questions, you can write down in the chat and she will answer them at the end of our webinar. So, hi, Eman, how are you? Can you tell us a little
I'm
bit more
good.
about yourself and career? And then you can start talking about pursuing a successful career in writing.
Yeah, as you mentioned, first of all, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I'm very pleased to be here. As you mentioned, this topic will be about pursuing a successful career in the writing field. As you mentioned, I am a freelance writer and also a journalist, but I am also a student and still have 2 years until I graduate. So I still have a lot of time until I reach that point in life where I can call myself an established person. But right now, I have done a lot of work in the writing sector, and I would really want to use that knowledge to help students who aspire to pursue career in writing to become better writers and also attain a career that they can be happy in, such as writing or journalism. So, just to give you a brief overview of the lecture, I will explore the different topics of what degree to pursue if you wish to become a successful writer, what experiences to gain, and what jobs you can do in the writing sector. If you want to know about all of these things from my experience, then you can stick till the end. If not, the audience can watch the recording later onwards. So, C.S. Lewis once said, "You can make anything by writing." And I couldn't agree more with what he said. When I was very young, my mother would buy books for me from the local book fair. There were mostly encyclopedias about the universe, about the dinosaurs that existed generations ago. And she would also buy fantasy novels for me. And you could say that is how my passion for writing stemmed from. And when I was in 10th grade, I read a quote somewhere that said, "You don't choose writing, writing chooses you." And I couldn't agree more with that. The majority of the writers that I have known have always had a passion for or a talent for writing, according to their creativity, their interests, or their talent. Some of them were fortunate enough to discover their passion early on in their lives, whereas others were not so, fortunate. They discovered their passion or their talent for writing years later. But that's okay too, I guess. If you're someone who wants to pursue a career in writing, but you are hesitant and wondering, is it even worth it? The only thing that I can tell you is to go for it. Don't wait for the right time or the right opportunity, because the right opportunity will arrive only when you step out into the world and look for it yourself. And one of the worst misconceptions that people have when they decide to pursue or become a writer is that they have to be perfect. But the truth is that no matter how hard you try, you will still not attain that perfection that you're striving for. One of the worst things that you can do as a writer is to compare yourself to someone who has 5 years or maybe even 10 years more experience than you, because that is really wrong, because as the saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy, right? Because when your only competition should be your between your present self and the person that you were yesterday. So if you'd want to pursue a career in writing, some of the degrees that you can enroll in as your college major are English literature, history, philosophy, creative writing, mass media or communications, journalism, public relations, film, or theater. However, these degrees will only be a ticket to an interview, and after that, the only thing that will matter is what you can offer to the company or an organization that you're applying for. If you plan on becoming a novelist, it is better to have a part time job because that will help pay your bills and also assist in your book publishing process. However, if you wish to attain a career in writing for a major company, such as, let's say, Google, Ernst and Young, you might need a bachelor's or sometimes even a master's degree in the previously mentioned subjects, such as public relations, English, journalism, or mass media. When you're applying for a job, you need to prove to your dream company that you're a better writer than all the other candidates who applied for the same role as you. You will need to prove to them that you're a more skilled writer than them. How can you do that? The only thing how you can prove that to them is through your work experience. And to attain work experience is not easy. Trust me, I know. Especially during COVID 19, it has become very difficult for students to attain even a simple internship. But the only suggestion that I can give to aspiring writers is to start searching for internships while you're still in college, even during your junior year. Try writing and submitting your article pitches to local newspapers or press outlets. And try your best to put your work out there into the world for people to read. You will receive thousands of rejection emails before receiving that one yes. And consistency is the key, especially in a field as difficult and complex as writing. Everyone starts at the bottom. I mean, J.K. Rowling was not born as a best-selling novelist. She failed so many times before becoming the woman that we now know her as. And Oprah Winfrey came from an abusive household. She was told that she was not fit for TV again and again, but she tried, and look at her now. She is inspiring millions of young Black women to follow their passions and their dreams. Without trying, you will never taste the beauty of miracles. And because miracles happen only if you try hard to go after your dreams. Some of the different areas where you can gain experience in include working as an assistant professor in your local community college, or interning at a local news channel, interning at a local media company, interning for a magazine, and interning for a radio channel or any media company in general. Because you have to gain work experience to prove to your future employers or to a company where you'd want to work as that you're a better writer. But not only that, if you want to be a better writer to write novels or books, you would have to work and practice your craft. Now, you might be wondering, what are the different careers that I can attain in the writing sector? Well, there are many options. Some of the different careers that you can pursue as a writer are a reporter, a communications officer, a grant proposal writer, a social media manager, an advertising manager, a copywriter, a public relations manager, an executive assistant, content marketer, and a content strategist, a university professor, or a director of communications. I am a firm believer of the fact that every individual in this world has some kind of skill that they can use to contribute positively in their communities, whether it is through creating, writing, dancing, teaching, or maybe even medicine. Pursuing a successful career in writing is not easy, but it is also not impossible. Being a writer, I became accustomed to unkind and petty comments from friends, family members, and colleagues and strangers. I became accustomed to rejections and failure. But Neil Gaiman, who is a best-selling author, once said something that I will never forget my entire life. He said, "When you start off in the arts, you have to deal with the problems of failure. You need to be thick-skinned to learn that not every project will survive. But remember to make mistakes. Remember to make good art." When I heard these words for the first time, I tied them onto the crevices of my heart. And every time I would receive a rejection letter from a magazine or a job, I tell myself these words over and over again. It was not a virtuous feeling, of course. It is natural for any writer to doubt his creativity when most publishing houses or magazines that he applies to rejects him, and that is exactly what happened to me. I wrote stories and sent them to be published, but they all came back. Apparently, according to them, I was not good enough and my stories lacked creativity. But I did not let those words get to my heart and I tried again and again. When I graduated high school, I decided to pursue a career in writing. I did not know how I would do it. I just knew that if I tried just hard enough, God would make a way. And the way I became better at writing was not through college or school. I thought my own self. My teachers were writers and poets who've died a million years ago. Oprah Winfrey inspired me immensely, and Shakespeare taught me the beauty of tragedy. Taking a gap year between high school and college, I sat at home and learned technical writing, business writing, SEO writing, editing, proofreading, magazine writing, social media management, digital marketing, and also publishing. Stepping into the professional world, I've realized that a college degree might win you a ticket to a job interview, but after that, the only thing that will matter are your skills. One of the most important things that I have learned and I am still learning throughout my writing career is that this field requires hard work, especially if you are a person of color or if you belong to a minority community. There are not many writers who will look like you, speak like you, or maybe even write like you, but that is what makes you unique. If you dare to follow your passion, you might inspire someone like you to do the same. Being a writer requires hard work, as I mentioned before, just like medicine, law, business, or politics. When you look at a successful writer and tell yourself, "Oh my God, I want to be like her one day," you don't see all those years of hard work that she spent into becoming the person that she is right now. You will have to work consistently to reach that level on perfecting your craft. You will have to go through millions of stages of discrimination, racism, humiliation, and also failure to become the person who you are meant to be. And the journey might be rough, but the destination is always beautiful. I mean, if you want to be a writer, it's like you would work hard for so many years, and in the end, you would end up waking up every morning to do what you love. I mean, that's the dream life, right? And in the process of chasing your dreams of attaining a successful writing career, you must have the courage to believe in yourself and your ideas so that even when others reject you, you will not lose sight of the person that you're meant to become. You must believe in yourself and for others to believe in you. I will conclude my lecture with a short piece from one of the greatest people that inspires me. The creator of Apple, he did a speech a few years ago, and at a university, he mentioned that your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found that yet, keep looking. Don't settle. If writing is something that you love doing, don't give up on it, because one day all of these struggles and the problems will be worth it. Thank you. That concludes my lecture.
Thank you so much, Iman. I have a question for you because, as you were saying, and I think that's beautiful to pursue your dreams and how to start in the career. But how are your suggestions to choose a topic? Like, if I want to write about human rights, I have to have a degree at human rights or not? How do you think? How do you think about it?
You must have knowledge, of course, because you can't just write about human rights if you don't even know the basic knowledge about what human rights are about. For example, human rights can be divided into different categories, such as female rights, children rights, rights of minorities, rights of laborers, rights of workers. So, for example, if you want to write an article that is focused on human rights, particularly female rights, I must say that you don't necessarily have to have a degree in that, but you must have some knowledge. For example, if you want to prove that a specific country has a high rate of female violence, then you must show your facts and you must show reports that, okay, this is it. I must prove my point. And you can prove your point if you have the necessary knowledge and the necessary skills and also the necessary tools, along with the necessary books and with the necessary sources that you would attach with the article that you would write about. And for that, you must have specific knowledge about journalism as well, because that is exactly what journalists do, right? They write about human rights. And they don't have a degree in human rights, but they do have a knowledge in that subject. They educate themselves about the facts and statistics. So that is how they write about these things. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, you did. So thank you so much. But I have another question because if I am starting from zero, I want to write, I don't know, I want to write a book about human rights, let's say. And then how do I start? Maybe I start from the middle, like writing already the story herself itself, or do I start from the introduction or another section of the book?
Okay, so I'm asking your question is, will the book be a fiction or a nonfiction?
I am thinking as nonfiction.
Okay, so if it's a nonfiction, we must really be careful about how we prove our facts, especially in a book. So I
Mhm.
must say that you can start from the beginning, because a book is a vast, like it presents a lot of knowledge. So you can use facts and reports to back up your points that you would include in your book about human rights.
Okay, so fiction is different. Like you can feel more free to write about science fiction because it's
Yeah,
not, we don't have to prove a point.
Yeah, I mean, fiction is different because fiction, you can write about anything. You can write about magic, you can write
Yes.
about aliens, you can write about anything in particular. But for nonfiction, we have to be really careful, especially if you're presenting facts, and
Mhm.
especially if you're presenting something from the history. And we wouldn't want to distort history or the facts, right? Because people can sue us,
Mhm.
or we could even go to jail, because I have seen people who have presented the wrong facts and they have been sent to court because of what they wrote that was wrong. So if we're writing nonfiction, we must really be careful.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I understand better now. I think we don't have any questions here at the chat. Guys, I think you, if you have any questions, you can let here. Iman, there is something more that you want to add to your lecture, or is everything okay?
No, I don't have any more questions. If you have any more questions for me, feel free to ask me.
I think it was very complete, your lecture. I am very happy for you to say how we need to pursue our dreams because it's not easy, like you said. The art field is very rough, right? You will have a lot of difficulties in the beginning, but it's worth it. So, thank you so much for your words. Thank you so much for letting us a little bit more about your career and how we can do to pursue this career like you. And I think this was it. Thank you so much, Iman.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Good luck in all your endeavors.